1968. Tear gas chokes the streets. Fistfights erupt in convention halls. Charleston, 1860. Southern delegates storm out. Slavery's fracture line cracks wide. New York, 1924. 103 ballots, spitting crowds, a party on the brink. San Francisco, 1964. 40,000 protesters roar against a nominee who hasn't won yet. These aren't elections. They're battlegrounds, where ambitions collide, parties splinter, and America watches its future hang by a ballot. 4 contested conventions, 4 moments when democracy teetered. Tonight, we step into the smoke-filled rooms, the shouts, the betrayals, the story of how nominations became wars and winners became footnotes. Before we begin, like and subscribe, and stand with those who still honor the past.
Democratic National Convention, 1860.
April 23, 1860. Charleston, South Carolina. The Democratic Convention opens in a city already dreaming of secession. Inside the South Carolina Institute Hall, gas chandeliers hiss over 5,000 delegates. The air is thick with perfume, sweat, and dread. Stephen A. Douglas needs 2/3. He is the North's champion of popular sovereignty. The South demands a federal slave code. No middle ground. Ballots begin. Douglas hovers at 152. Never enough. Southern fire eaters, led by Alabama's William Lowndes Yancey, rise in fury. "We will not yield," they thunder. On the 36th ballot, Yancey marches 50 delegates out. Chairs scrape, doors slam. The hall empties like a sinking ship. The convention collapses. They flee to Baltimore 6 weeks later. There, the North nominates Douglas. The South, in Richmond, crowns John C. Breckinridge. A 4th ticket forms, 4 candidates. The Democratic Party is shattered. November comes. Lincoln wins with 39.8%. Not a single Southern electoral vote. 6 weeks after inauguration, Fort Sumter burns. Charleston's walkout was not just a convention disaster. It was the first shot of the Civil War. 1 failed nomination, 1 fractured party, 4 bloody years. The cost of deadlock measured in 500,000 graves.
Democratic National Convention, 1924.
June 24, 1924. Madison Square Garden, New York. The longest convention in history begins. Alfred E. Smith, Catholic, wet, urban. William Gibbs McAdoo, Protestant, dry, backed by the Klan. 2/3 rule, no surrender. The hall becomes a furnace. 16,000 spectators spit tobacco and insults. Ballots crawl past 50, then 80. Delegates faint from heat. Reporters count corpses of hope. On the floor, fistfights erupt. A West Virginian slugs a New Yorker. Spittoons fly. The Klan's invisible empire stalks the aisles. McAdoo's delegates wear its shadow. Smith's supporters hiss back. 103 ballots. 16 days. The nation watches on radio, stunned. Newspapers scream, "Deadlock of doom." Finally, both giants collapse. On the 103rd ballot, compromise arrives. John W. Davis, a bland Wall Street lawyer from West Virginia. The hall falls silent. No cheers, only exhaustion. Davis loses to Coolidge in a landslide. The Democratic Party limps away, scarred by religion, prohibition, and hatred. That endless New York summer exposed the Klan's grip, the poison of the two-thirds rule, and the fragility of unity. A convention that lasted longer than many wars taught America one brutal lesson. Sometimes the fight inside the hall is deadlier than any campaign.
Republican National Convention, 1964.
July 13, 1964. Cow Palace, San Francisco. Barry Goldwater's conservatives storm the Republican Party. Moderates, Rockefeller, Scranton, Lodge, fight to stop him. Outside, 40,000 protesters chant against extremism. Inside, the hall crackles. Rockefeller takes the podium to denounce Goldwater's radicalism. Boos rain like hail. Goldwater delegates drown him out. "We want Barry." Eisenhower tries one last plea for Scranton. Too late. On the first ballot, Goldwater crushes the opposition, 883 to 214. He steps forward and delivers the line that defines him. Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. Moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. The hall erupts, half in triumph, half in horror. Television carries the moment to 40 million homes. Moderates walk out. The party splits. November brings annihilation. Lyndon Johnson wins 44 states. Goldwater carries only Arizona and 5 deep South states. The convention that crowned a conservative hero also exiled the Republican Party from power for a generation. San Francisco, 1964, was not just a nomination. It was a declaration of war inside the GOP, and the moderates lost.
Democratic National Convention, 1968.
August 26, 1968, Chicago. The Democratic Party gathers in a city under siege. Vietnam has torn the nation. Humphrey, bound to Johnson's war, enters with delegates chosen in smoke-filled rooms. McCarthy and McGovern carry the anti-war youth. No one has enough. Inside the International Amphitheater, Mayor Daley's machine rules with iron fists. Outside, 10,000 protesters face 12,000 police and National Guard. Barbed wire rings the hall. Ballots begin. Humphrey surges on the first. Anti-war delegates howl. On the floor, security drags out dissenters. Television cameras capture the chaos. Walter Cronkite calls it a police state. Night falls. In Grant Park, police charge. Clubs rise and fall. Tear gas drifts into the convention windows. Inside, delegates weep as they nominate Humphrey. The whole world is watching, and it is horrified. November. Nixon wins by 500,000 votes. Chicago's images of blood and gas burn into America's memory. The Democratic Party is broken. Trust in the system collapses. But from those ashes come the McGovern reforms. Primaries replace bosses. Power shifts to voters. Chicago 1968 was democracy's darkest convention night, and the birth of the system we still use today. 1-1.